السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله علي الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وسندنا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy. Arabic Grammar Made Easy. Lesson number 62. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. In this lesson we're going to learn as-sarf and al-fi'l al-madi. We went through the sarf in the last lesson. Let's go through again. As-sarf morphology. The grammatical term as-sarf is defined as the change of the original root letters into different forms to create an intended meaning that cannot be attained except by means of this change. An example of this would be changing the root word qata, which is the qaf, ta, ayn, into the past tense qata'a, the present tense yaqta'u, and the command iqta', and so forth. As-sarf also includes all the derivatives of the root, such as the active participle, passive participle, and adjectives. It is a science that investigates the forms and shapes of word types, as well as sound, weak, or substituted letters. "99% of the verbs has three root letters. The three root letter of the word fail is fa, ayn, lam. The first letter is the fa, and it is called the fa'ul kalima. The second letter is ayn, and it is called the aynul kalima. And the third letter is lam, and it's called the lamul kalima. Any letter that comes in place of fa, it's called the fa'ul kalima. Any letter that comes in place of ayn, it is called the aynul kalima. And any letter that comes in place of lam, it's called the lamul kalima. When we take these three root letters, the fa and the ayn and the lam, and put them together, it becomes fail. Now we need to put haraka on them to be able to read. If we put fatha on all three letters, it becomes fa'ala. We have a verb now. Fa'ala means to do. Let's go into more deep and look the fa'ul kalima, the aynul kalima, and the lamul kalima. We take another three root letters, jim, lam, and the sin. So jim in the place of fa, lam is in the place of ayn, and the sin is in place of lam. So the jim is called the fa'ul kalima. The lam is called the aynul kalima, and the sin is called the lamul kalima because it was in the place of lam. So Jim was place of fa'ul kalima. Lam was in place of ainul kalima. Sin was in place of lamul kalima. So any letter falls in the place of fa, we'll call it fa'ul kalima. Any letter that falls in place of ainul kalima. Any letter falls in the place of lamul kalima. Now if we put fatha on all three root letters, Jim, Lam, Sin, it becomes jalasa on the scale of fa'ala. Jalasa means to sit. When we put fatha on all three letters, it automatically becomes fi'l madi, past tense. Okay? Now let's take more root letters. These are the root letters, and we put fatha on all of them. We have a fi'l. So first one, fa'ala means to do, jalasa to sit, dhahaba, we're putting fatha on all three letters. Dhahaba means to go, dakhala to enter, kharaja to go out. Another one, daraba to strike or to hit. Now sometimes the ainul kalima, which is the middle letter, also have kasra or dhamma. The examples below are the ainul kalima having a kasra. So there is no rules to when to have ain kalima fatha, when to have ain kalima kasra, when to have ain kalima dhamma. There is no rule. Just have to learn the verb as it is. So this is an example to show you the ainul kalima having a kasra. These three rule letters, sin, mim, ain. The ainul kalima, which is the mim over here, it will have a kasra. Sami'a, to hear. Ain, lam, mim, the middle letter is the ainul kalima, the lam will have a kasra. Alima means to know. Shin, ra, ba, middle letter is the ra, ainul kalima having kasra. Shariba, to drink. Ain, mim, lam, mim is the middle letter, ainul kalima having kasra. Amila, to work. Next example, ainul kalima having dhamma. So kaf, ra, mim, the ra is the ainul kalima. Karuma, to become generous. Qaf, ra, ba, ra is the middle letter, qaruba, to become near. Ba, ain, dal, ain is the middle letter, ainul kalima having dhamma on it. Ba'uda, to become far. Tha, qaf, lam, the qaf is the middle letter, ainul kalima, to have a dhamma. Thaqula, to become heavy. Now we know the three rule letters. The first letter is called the fa'ul kalima. The second letter is called the ainul kalima. And the last letter is called the lamul kalima. Now verb, what is verb? A verb denotes action in relation to past, present and future tense. Like fa'ala, yaf'alu. The three types of fi'l: al-fi'l al-madi, past tense; al-fi'l al-mudari, present and future tense; and fi'l al-amri, imperative or command verb. As we have learned that every fi'l needs a fa'il, either it be fi'l madi, fi'l mudari or fi'l amr. The rule of fa'il: the fa'il, which is the doer, always comes after the fi'l, and it is always marfu. The fa'il can be a ism dhahir or a damir. If the fa'il is mudhakkar, use the fa'il on the scale of fa'ala. It doesn't matter if the ism dhahir is wahid, muthanna or jama'. So we're talking about the fa'il when it is ism dhahir. If it's mudhakkar, ism dhahir mudhakkar, we always use the fa'il on the scale of fa'ala. If the ayn kalima has a kasra, we change into kasra, fa'ila. And if ayn kalima has a dhamma, we change to fa'ula. Ism dhahir as the fa'il, it doesn't matter. It can be wahid, it can be muthanna, or it can be jama'. And if the ism dhahir is muannas, use the fa'il on the scale of fa'alat. If the ayn kalima has a kasra, fa'ilat. If the ayn kalima has a dhamma, fa'ulat. It doesn't matter. Ism dhahir can be wahid, muthanna or jama'. When the fa'il is jama' mukassar ghair aqil, we use the fa'il on the scale of fa'alat, because jama' mukassar ghair aqil is considered wahid muannas. Anwa'ul fa'il, the types of fa'il. There are two types of al-fa'il. Number one, ismun dhahirun, noun, a solid noun. It is visible, you'll see it, you'll be able to read it. Number two, damir, pronoun. If the fa'il is not damir, it can be one of the two. Damirun mustatirun, a hidden damir, and damirun barizun, dhahir, apparent damir, pronoun, the visible pronoun. Yeah. So damirun mustatirun, number one, is only for two forms. Number one is the mudhakkar fa'ala, it can have damir mustatir. Number two, fa'alat, also can have damir mustatir. The rest of the forms that we'll see, the rest of the forms will have damirun barizun. I hope you understand that. It is only two sighas, two forms that have damirun mustatirun. Number one, the fa'il on the scale of fa'ala, it has a damirun mustatirun. And number two, the muannas form of it, fa'alat, it has a damirun mustatirun. And the rest of the forms will have damirun barizun. So let's look at that now. There are 10 damir al-bariz that is attached to al-fa'il al-madi. Number one is alif. It is called aliful ithnain. Number two, waw. It is called wawul jama'a. That alif is here just to separate. It is called separation alif, to separate from two words. So this is, it is the fa'il, okay, and the next word will be the, any ism, any word. So this alif is to separate from fa'il, from the words coming after it. Actually, the damir al-bari is the waw. It is called wawul jama'ah. Number three, noon. with the fatha. It is called Noon al-Niswa. Noon al-Niswa. Number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. All these ta, ti, tu, tuma, tum, tunna. All these are called ta'ul fa'il. So we'll be adding with the fail, the alif, and this alif is called ad-damir al-bariz, and this is the fa'il. We'll add the waw to make it waw al-jama'a, to make it plural. This waw is ad-damir al-bariz, that is the fa'il. The noon al-niswa, that is the damir, that is the fa'il. And ta, ti, to all individual. Ta is a damir bariz. This is the fa'il. Ti is the fa'il. Tu is the fa'il. Tuma is the fa'il. Tum is the fa'il. And tunna is the fa'il. All these are called ta'ul fa'ili. And number 10, nun alif na. This is called na al-fa'ilin. Na al-fa'ilin. So we will take one fail, for example, fa'ala. We add all these damirs to make different forms to give us the dual meaning, the plural meaning, plural of jama mudhakkar, plural of jama muannas. It will also give us the meaning for third person, second person, and the first person. So the third person is called al-ghaib. Second person is called al-mukhatab. The first person is called al-mutakallim. So we will see what are the damirs that we add and gives us different meaning. There are 14 sighas, plurals, sighun of al-fi'l al-madi. 14 forms of fi'l al-madi. See, we take one word and we change the different forms to give us different meaning. This is what sarf is. That from one word you can make different forms to give you different meanings. So how do we make these 14 forms? Just adding those ad-damir al-mustatir and ad-damir al-bariz, and we'll have 14 forms. Let's make mudhakkar ghaib, third person. Mudhakkar ghaib. So mudhakkar ghaib, third person, we can have mufrad. When we talk about someone, singular. We talk about someone, dual, that's 2 forms. Number 3, we talk about plural, that's 3. Okay. So for mudhakkar ghaib, we have 3 forms, mufrad, muthanna, and jama'. So if we take a fi'l, for example, nasara, the first form is already made for us, nasara. The rest of the forms, we have to make it ourselves. It's not already made. Adding those damirs. So when we make muthanna, we put the alif al-ithnain. Nasara. When we make jama', we add the waw al-jama'a. واو الجماعة. So what happens to the lamul kalima? What happens the fath on the lamul kalima when we make jama? As we know, waw demands dhamma before it. Waw demands dhamma before it. So it becomes nasaru. So these three forms are for third person masculine. Let's see third person feminine. Muannas ghaiba. So mufrad is very easy. Nasara, just make into muannas. We know how to make ism into muannas. Add ta marbut at the end. So how do we make fail muannas? Again, very easy. Just add ta al-maftuha, the open ta, and put sukun on it. Mufrad, muthanna, and jama, nasarat. So this is ta al-maftuha as-sakina, nasarat. Now how to make this into muthanna? We know how to make muthanna. Just add aliful ithnain. Aliful ithnain. Nasarata. Right? The ta is showing us as muannas. The alif is aliful ithnain. Jama muannas. How do you make jama muannas? Jama muannas. The muannas means we need the noon niswa. Noon and niswa. Yeah. Now, for this siga, we need to make the lamul kalima, which is the last letter of the fail. In our case, is the letter ra. The ra is the lamul kalima. You need to make the lamul kalima sakin. Then you add noon and niswa. Nasarna. Nasarna. Okay. So in the past, when we did the Arab, فعل الماضي, we've learned فعل الماضي is مبني. مبني on what? Some sigas مبني على الفتح. Some sigas مبني على الضم. And some sigas مبني على السكون. So let's see over here what are the sigas, the mabni ala al-fath. The last letter is the ra. We always look at the lamul kalima. Always look at the lamul kalima. So the mufrad siga nasara is mabni ala al-fath. Nasara muthanna siga mabni ala al-fath. Mufrad muannas نصارى مبني على الفتح. نصارتا the ra has a fatha مبني على الفتح. So these four these four sigas are the مبني على الفتح. Two مذكر غائب, two مؤنث غائب, mufrad and muthanna. So these four sigas are mabni ala al-fath. Let's see what is the siga mabni ala al-dam. It is only one siga out of all 14. One siga mabni ala al-dam, and that is jama mudhakkar ghaib. Nasaru mabni ala al-dam. Because we have a dhamma on the لام الكلمة مبني على الضم. Now let's look at what are the sigas. That is مبني على السكون. نصرنا. So نصر. This siga is مبني على السكون. So we say لاتصاله نون النسوة. لاتصاله بنون النسوة. Because the noon niswa is attached. So when we are adding those damirs other than these 5 sigas, okay? These 4 and number 5 is the suru. Other than these 5 sigas, the rest of the damirs we add, make sure to make the lamul kalima sakin. So it will be mabni ala sukun. So these 6 sigas is for al-ghaib. Let's look at the al-mukhatab. Mudhakkar mukhatab first. Second person means you are addressing someone when you talk and you say the word you. When you say the word you, that means second person. When you mention a name, that means third person. When you say you, that is second person. Again, mufrad, muthanna, and jama'. So remember those ta'ul fa'il, you need to add them here one by one. Ta'ul fa'il. Mufrad, nasarta. Did you remember that? To add these damirs, you need to make the lamul kalima sakin. So this fi'l madi will become mabni ala sukun. Nasarta. And the letter ta is the fa'il, not the fatha. The ta is the fa'il. Nasarta. Muthanna, nasartuma. Tuma. Even over here again, the ta is the fa'il. And the mim and alif is to show is muthanna. Jama' nasartum. Again, the ta is the fa'il. The mim is to show jama' mudhakkar mukhatab. So when we do Arab of all these, we say مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. Same thing here. فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله تاء الفاعل. وما للمثنى. نصرتم, the ta is the fa'il. مبني على الضم لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. والميم للمذكر العاقل. Next, مؤنث مخاطبة, second person. مفرد, مثنى, and جمع. مفرد is نصرتي. The ta is the file. Sorry, it should be مبني على السكون. نصرتي. Then نصرتما. Then نصرتن. So the ta is the file and nun is for للمؤنث العاقل. And the last one is mutakallim, the first person, masculine and feminine, which is mudhakkar, mufrad, mudhakkar and muannas, and muthanna, jama', mudhakkar and muannas. So we have one siga for both, mudhakkar and muannas mufrad, nasartu. فالماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. نصرنا جمع مثنى مذكر مؤنث مبني على السكون لاتصاله بناء الفاعلين. So over here we say na al-fa'ilin. So these are the 14 forms. First two forms is nasara, nasarat, mudhakkar and muannas. Nasara, nasara. So when we have just the first sigha, from there we make all 14. So let's take another verb and let's make all 14 forms. So mudhakkar ghaib. First we need to have the first sigha. Which one? Let's say dakhala. Kadakhala. So we must have the first form first. Do I have the Arabic keyboard on? Let's see. No. Let's turn the Arabic keyboard on. So da khala, dakhala. That's how we have the first form. Now we can make the rest 13, adding those fa'il with it. Musanna, the khala, what do we need to make musanna? Aliful ithnain, dakhala. Jama mudhakkar ghaib, we need the waw al-jama'a, but waw al-jama'a demands dhamma before it. Salu, dakhalu. Muannas ghaiba mufrad, we have a dakhala, make it muannas with ta al-maftuha as-sakina, dakhalat. And the muthanna, dakhala, that is the muannas form, and we add alif, and alif demands fatha before it. Alif demands, so we have put a fatha, then alif. Dakhalata, then we have dakhalna. So when we add noon and niswa, the lam kalima has to be sakin. Dakhalna. Next, the mukhatab. So all 6 forms of mukhatab, the lam kalima is sakin. So in Arab we say مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. لام كلمة ساكن دخل, then we add those damirs. دخلت, دخلتما, دخلتم. These 3 sigas are the mudhakkar ghaib. Sorry, mudhakkar mukhatab. And muannas mukhataba, dakhalti. Musanna, dakhaltuma. Jama muannas mukhataba, dakhaltunna. So 6 forms of mukhatab, 3 for mudhakkar and 3 for muannas. These 6 sigas, remember the lam kalima will be sakin. So in Arab we say فعل ماض مبني على السكون for all of them. Oops, so something. Yeah, so all 6 forms of مخاطب مبني على السكون. Then we say لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. For all 6 of them. لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. Then if we want to mention the mim alif, we can. Mim alif means ma للمثنى, we can say that. And the mim as-sakin is for jama mudhakkar aqil. Same thing here. دخلتما. The mim alif ma is للمثنى, and nun mushaddad is للجمع مؤنث العاقل. Next, متكلم. دخلت فعل ماضي مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل. And then we have one more left. دخلنا فالماضي مبني على السكون لاتصاله بناء الفاعلين. We've done this in the past. We're just going through again, so as a recap and practice, because we need to master these sigas before we move on. Very important. So let's go through some examples, and let's look at the Arab. Again, as I said, we did them in the past. Again, just a recap, so it is fresh in our mind. It will become useful later on. So, Fataha, by looking at it straight away, if you know all these 14 forms, by looking at it, we straight away can say what siga this is. Yeah, the first 3 root letters, fa, ta, and ha. What is the alif doing here? What is the alif for? Easily we can say it is alif al-ithnain. So fatah al-baba. Yeah. And we've learned all these maf'uls, maf'ul bihi. I'm not going to go into that, okay? We know that. We're just looking at the Arab of al-Madi, but we'll talk about maf'ul as well. Just the Arab. Tarkib, fataha, fa'il or fa'il, and the fa'il is the alif, and al-baba, maf'ulun bihi. They both male opened the door. If you look at the Arab, فتحا فعل ماض مبني على الفتح والألف ألف الاثنين ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح مبني على الفتح في محل رفع فاعل. and the الباب مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. So this one is مبني على الفتح. Oops, where's the lamb gone? Okay, so let me just copy that. If we need it, we can paste it. Okay, so if this was just the mufrad فتح الباب, there is no اسم الظاهر mentioned, so the file will be ضمير مستتر. So you can say like this: فتح فعل ماض مبني على الفتح والفاعل ضمير مستتر جوازا تقديره هو. If there was a just فتح and the rest al-bab is the same. Okay. Next, let's see what we have. فتحتا النوافذ. So فتحتا النوافذ. فتحتا النوافذ. فتحتا فعل فاعل, النوافذ مفعول به. They both female open the windows. فتحتا فعل ماضي مبني على الفتح والتاء تاء التانيث الساكنة حرف. It was ta sakina because it's having a fatha because alif demands the fatha. So still we call it التاء الساكنة. لا محل له من الإعراب. والألف ألف الاثنين ألف it is سكون, isn't it? ألف الاثنين ضمير متصل مبني على السكون. Yes, it is سكون. This ألف is always ساكن. في محل رفع فاعل. النوافذ مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Come on, you need to correct me as well if I make a mistake. So that was الألف ألف الاثنين ضمير متصل مبني على السكون. It was correct. All right, let's look at the next example. Nasarna. By looking, can you tell me what siga this is? Nasarna. Anyone? Look, all the ta'ul fa'il. Ta'ul fa'il, there's no ta here. Look, the na al fa'ilin, there is no na al fa'ilin here. Look at the alif al ithnan. Look at the waw al jama'a. None of them are here. What is this? You need to look at the lam al kalima sakin. Nasarna. Oh, my bad. I think I'm not. Should I say this or not? People are becoming less and less. Today only 6 people in the class. Come on, rest of you, come and say it. Don't tell me you don't know this. when I ask a question, don't think if one person gives the answer and they say no. Okay, let's move on. Yes, it is Jama Muannas. Nasarna al-Muslimin. Now looking at this, we know the form is Jama Mudhakkar Salim, and it is in the Nasab case. Ina sound, Nasab case. The Una sound is the Rafa case, and we already know Nasarna Fa'il and Fa'il, so next one will be Maf'ulun Bihi. The Arab نصرنا فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصال بنون النسوة والنون نون النسوة ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح نصرنا مبني على الفتح في محل رفع فاعل المسلمين مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. Okay, we're not going to do this kind of Arab anymore. This is your last chance. If you don't learn from here, you learn from here. Maybe we may do only just once more. When we do Fil Mudari, we may do once more. After that, no, we're not going to do this Arab anymore. So make sure you learn it from here. Nasarata al-Muslimin. So the Arab of the Muslimin will be exactly the same. You just need to look at the Arab of Nasarata. Nasarata فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح في محل رفع فاعل. المسلمين مفعول منصوب وعلامة نصب الياء لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. سمعت الأذان. You female heard the adhan. سمعت فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الكسر في محل رفع فاعل. الأذان مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. سمعت الأذان. First it was سمعت, then it was سمعت, now سمعت. All the haraka changes, by looking at it, you should know the صيغة. سمعت القرآن. So سمعت فعل فاعل القرآن مفعول به. I heard the Quran. سمعت فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الضم. سمعت مبني على الضم في محل رفع فاعل. القرآن مفعول منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. So مبني على الضم. سمعت فعل ماض مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الضم في محل رفع فاعل. القرآن مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. عملنا الصالحات. عملنا فعل فاعل, the na is the fa'il. الصالحات مفعول به. جمع مؤنث سالم. So جمع مؤنث salim shows the i'rab with kasra in nasab case. You all, we all, male and female, did righteous deeds. We all did righteous deeds. عملنا فعل الماضي مبني على السكون لاتصال بناء الفاعلين. ناء الفاعلين ضمير متصل مبني على السكون في محل رفع فاعل. الصالحات مفعول بمنصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم. Okay, so we did مبني فعل ماضي مبني على الفتح. It is only the 4 sigas. To مذكر غائب, the مفرد فعلا فعلا. To مؤنث غائب فعلت and فعلتا. These 4 sigas مبني على الفتح. The rest of the sigas مبني على السكون. مبني على السكون. There's only one siga مبني على الضم. Let's look at that. عملوا الصالحات. So when واو الجماعة, then this is the only siga that مبني على الضم. Okay, واو is the fa'il. الصالحات مفعول به. We all, you all male did righteous deeds. Not we, you all. إعراب عملوا فعل ماض مبني على الضم لاتصال بواو الجماعة. واو الجماعة ضمير متصل مبني على السكون في محل رفع فاعل. الصالحات مفعول بمنصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم. So you all male. Not you, they عملوا الصالحات, they all male did righteous deeds. Okay, so this is the end of lesson 62. Again, we need the damirs. We need to be master, or at least very good at the damirs that is attached to the فعل الماضي. ألف الاثنين, واو الجماعة, نون النسوة, تاء الفاعل, and ناء الفاعلين. Once we are very good at these damirs, we cannot go wrong. In the coming lessons, these damirs are very important. So if you haven't learned them yet, this is the time to learn them. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Yeah, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.